Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a video and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Today, it is my privilege to welcome a very, very successful coach, someone I have worked with for a little while, someone who now lives in Florida, USA. Mark Moses, welcome to the show.
Ash, it's great to be here with you, my friend. Always good to see you.
Likewise. Mark is the founder CEO of Coaching International. He's a quintessential entrepreneur. He started his first venture when he was only 12 years old. He's run 12 Ironmans, 20 half Ironmans. I did not know that he was the US Open squash champion. And Mark has run marathons all over the world. I mean, one of the fittest people I know. Mark, what would you say are three key milestones in your life or career?
Well, I guess the biggest milestone that contributes to my happiness is picking the right partner in life. So I've been very fortunate to, my wife Yvette, she's terrific. And when marriage is good, life is good. So that is probably the most meaningful milestone.
Right.
I think another milestone was leaving the small town. I grew up in California, actually driving 2,500 miles across the country to start my professional career in a new country. And so that was a big milestone, getting me into becoming, building my business in a different country. And I'd say the third milestone, and maybe I went out of order here, would have been my dad's bankruptcy in my last year of high school, because I thought I wanted to go to school to be an accountant, and because I needed to make money when I was in college, I ended up starting my own business when I was in college and to pay for university, and that made me decide that I could become an entrepreneur as opposed to an accountant.
Fantastic. And, you had such incredible amount of success, with YPOers, with other non-YPOers, coaching them all over the world. And yet, when I was reading about you, you say that I have spent my entire life feeling like the underdog. Help me understand this comment.
Yeah, people ask me about that. I feel that way. I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe it's because I grew up in a small town. As you know, I'm not very tall, so everybody was always taller than me, and I had to compete with people that were bigger than me. Every sport that I tackled, I know you're a big fan of golf, and when I took up golf in my 30s, I just wanted to be really good at it. So I was the underdog. I was the worst, and then I became quite good. I took up squash one day because somebody didn't want to play with me when I asked, and then. It only took a few months before I was beating him, and then went on to win the U.S. championship. I've always felt that way, and I think it's been good for me because it makes me work harder, because I may not be as strong or as smart, and I believe that you can achieve anything in life if you believe in yourself.
Okay. So, let's move to the next section, which is about CEO coaching. I mean, I think you're one of the very, very well-established brands of coaching in the world. What made you become a coach?
I have always been coached in business since I was 24, and I've had some really great coaches over the years. I'm still coached today. And so between business and sport, I always felt that it helped me bring out the best in me. Now, I was doing a speaking engagement once, and somebody came up to me and asked me if I would be their coach. And at the time, I had sold my business 18 months earlier. I was just enjoying life. It was 2008. It was the beginning of the global financial crisis. I was looking to buy a new business, and the businesses weren't looking as attractive in 2008. And this guy asked me, and I said yes. And that's how we got started. He was my first client. and I recommended he go bankrupt because that was his best option. And so it was a short engagement, and that's how I got started. And then within a couple of years, I had 34 clients.
Wow.
And I still thought I was only going to do it for a little while until I found what my next entrepreneurial venture would be. And as you know, today we coach 343 companies in over 40 countries and in 55 different industries.
Incredible. That's quite incredible. So tell me, coaching has been something which has been quite well accepted in the United States. But in my part of the world, in Asia, coaching is just beginning to catch on. Coaching was traditionally done either by a senior member in your company or a senior family member. What is coaching, and how should people in my part of the world start looking at coaching?
Yeah, that is a real conundrum, Ash. I would say that in Asia, it is prevalent. In the Chinese like coaching; they have jumped right into it. The Filipinos have jumped into it. Yet in India, I think we only have one client in India. Many people reach out to us, but they want it done for free. And I think, at least in India, I have always felt that they feel that it would be beneath them to hire and pay for a coach, where typically, like you said, they would go to a family member or maybe somebody in their organization that might be higher up.
Correct.
Yet, and I think that I find the Indians very much great learners, and it surprises me that this is not caught on yet. Okay. And I believe that it will catch on because most of the world is having terrific success all over the world. Correct. Terrific success with, even in Africa, we have clients in Rwanda and Sri Lanka, and really all over the world I see it catching on. I think it's just somebody to talk to that is independent of family, that may have some prejudgment, and in terms of what they think, they may say, well, hey, you're only capable, Ash, of doing X, so it doesn't matter that you have all this aspiration. Correct. Chill out. So I think the process, if they really understood the process of what a good coach could do for them and how they could bring out the best in them, I think soon Indians will gravitate to coaching.
Wonderful. So then tell me, you said you got clients in 40 countries. In your opinion, who should look for a coach?
Well, we're in the business of coaching CEOs and their leadership teams.
Correct.
So, but look, I think anybody could look for a coach, Ash. It could be somebody in high school that aspires to do something great, and maybe they have a mentor originally and they don't need to pay them. Somebody maybe like you, or somebody they have high regard for that mentors people. And then there's the startup entrepreneur, and India's got many of those startup entrepreneurs that need guidance. And because we all make mistakes, and you could learn them the hard way, or you could learn them from those that have walked that road ahead of us and learn from their mistakes to help prevent you from at least making some of them, maybe not all of them. Well, so I think anywhere from anybody that wants to be better, either in sport, like, look, the best athletes in the world all have a coach.
Correct.
Right? And the best leaders, the best CEOs in the world have a coach. And coaching will just help you see, help to for you to see yourself in a way that you may not be seeing yourself, help you see your own blind spots, and help you figure out the steps to get you from A to B.
Terrific. So, CEO Coaching International has over the years grown into a very large and established organization. How are you different from so many other coaching organizations in the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that a lot of coaching organizations, especially those that have certifications, typically certify somebody in behavioral coaching.
Correct.
So help them improve a behavior in the world that will help them be better at whatever they're trying to be better at.
Correct.
Our differentiation, Ash, is our brand promise is to help our clients drive two things, revenue and profit. And our clients have grown revenue at 2.5 times the national average in the US.
Wow.
And 5.9 times the national average in profit. So that's our brand promise, to help our clients meaningfully drive revenue and profit. Now, we may end up helping them with all kinds of other things as well, but we're very clear on what we're hired to do, which is drive revenue and profit.
Fantastic. And how long should a coaching association be?
It's a great question. It could be through the sale of their business. It could be until they feel the coach is not bringing them any additional value.
Okay.
And for example, my clients, I've been doing this, I'm in my 13th year now of doing this. And many of my clients have been with me 7, 8, 10 years. And you build a really strong relationship. And as long as they feel value in that relationship, they should carry on. And I looked at myself. One of my coaches I had, these are my business coaches, for 10 years. And another one I had for 7 years. And the one I have currently has been 4 years. That's myself. And our average client at CEO Coaching is about 3 years in terms of their average tenure.
That's amazing. So, I've often been asked this question when I coach people. How does the person who's being coached or the coachee evaluate the coach?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think at the beginning of a relationship, the coach and the coachee ought to get super clear on what success is. So in our organization, as you know, Ash, we like to use the crystal ball. It's 1 year from now, we're celebrating big because you achieved what? And the coach's job is to help them achieve the outcome that they want to achieve. So I think having very clear, measurable outcomes, and either at the end of that year or the end of the period, whatever that period is, either the objectives were achieved or they were not.
If I was looking for a coach, where do I go and what should I look for?
It depends what problem you're trying to solve.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, you're a CEO and you wanted to I'll use an example. You're in India and you want to move your business, we'll say, to Europe and the US. I would look for a coach that has done that, knows the European market. I probably would want somebody that's worked in India, done business in Europe, done business in the US, and would have walked that road ahead of me, so I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I would like that. On the other hand, if let's say, for example, I want somebody to talk to about some really deep issues that I have, but I want to see them face to face. Zoom, although widely used around the world, may not be the medium that I like. I want to meet them in person. Then I would look in my local area to see if I could find somebody that truly resonates with me. I think I'm as you know, I'm a pretty tough,
Yeah.
driven guy, and I like a coach that's going to shoot me straight.
Okay.
I don't want it gussied up, prettied up. I don't want you to dance around the issue. I want you to shoot me straight. And I don't want you to ask me how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that way. Does it go back to when I was a kid or the way I was brought up? That kind of coaching doesn't resonate with me. However, it does resonate with some that want to go deeper into how they're feeling and what's driving that behavior. And that's a different kind of coach. So I think you first need to determine what it is that you want and who would be the best match to finding what you want. And to answer your question about how to find them, I often think referrals is the best way. Find out who in your network is using a coach and who they might recommend, and talk to 2 or 3 coaches and see who resonates most with you.
Fantastic. What a great answer. So let's move to the next segment. Let's talk a little bit about YPO, an organization you and I both love and belong to. Why did you choose to join the YPO?
I had been a member of EO for a long time prior to joining YPO. And a long time, 6 years, I think, was the time I'd spent in EO. And I felt it was time to be, I believe you are who you hang with. So I believed in order to get better, I would join an organization where all the businesses would be bigger than mine. And then I could aspire to be like them. And fortunately, that's what happened to me. And we joke around, and people ask me all the time, what's the difference between EO and YPO? And maybe not so much in India, because India's got very strong EO chapters, as you know. But in the US, we kid around and we say this, that you have a bunch of EOers, we'll call them new entrepreneurs, in a room, and it's dark. And they're going, how do we get some light in here? Anybody got a match? Anybody got any sticks we can rub together? How can we get some any oil? Maybe we could find a way to light. And then the YPOer walks in and just goes to the light switch and turns the light on.
Okay.
And what we mean by that is most of the YPOers usually are a little bit older, and they just have a little bit more experience and have walked down that road before. So I think both organizations are great, but for me, it was, I wanted to step up my game and spend time with people that were stronger leaders than me, had built more meaningful business than me, and I was inspired by them to be better.
Fantastic. So I'm going to move to the last section of our conversation, which is some questions for you personally. My first question to you, Mark, is that so much success, so much of the world you have seen, I think you've traveled to over 100 countries. What does success mean to Mark Moses?
Well, for me personally, I like to make a difference in everything that I do. So if I'm going to engage with YPO, and like you, we've both been very active, and that's why we met. I want to make a difference in what I do. And so in everything that I choose to do, I want to be able to, I want it to be purposeful, especially at our age, right? We're not spring chickens anymore. And in everything that we do, we want to have meaning and purpose. So that really matters to me. And I also, I want to spend time on the things and the people that increase my energy, as opposed to spending any time on the things and the people that deplete my energy. And finally, I want to be a good example for my kids and inspire them that they can do anything they want in life as long as they choose to and desire to do it.
Terrific. So let me come back to the question I asked you in the beginning of our conversation, which is about the underdog. And, you've achieved, the pole position, if I can say, in everything that you've picked up. The question to you is, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Yeah, I wake up every single day motivated, and I work, as you know, I work out 7 days a week. 10 minutes before you and I got on this, I had just jumped out of the shower. I just got off. We did a big bike ride this morning, and I just am inspired to feel alive and to live life to the fullest. So I think that inspiration comes from within, and it also, I like to spend time with people that are equally inspired, so that energy is infectious. And so I think that's where I get it. The underdog question is a good question. It's I reflect on it. It's, do I still feel that way? And I really do. I really do. And maybe at some point I will grow out of that, but I don't want to lose my drive. And it really does drive me. So I like feeling like the underdog. McKinsey's the big dog in our space, and I want to grow up and be a brand like McKinsey. So I am the underdog.
Very good. Terrific. So I have time for 2 more questions for you. My next question is that if you, Mark, were a role model to millions of children who closely followed you and your life choices, what is the one thing you would change in yourself?
Sometimes I am less patient for those that aren't moving at the pace that I'm moving. I'm get up, ready to go, inspired, and I would say to be more tolerant of those, more tolerant and more compassionate of those that aren't equally as inspired or charged up, ready to go. And I even said it earlier, right? Spend my time on the things and the people that increase my energy and eliminate all the things and all the people that deplete it. Oof. So I would say, that gave myself away when I said that. I would say if I could change one thing, to be a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more compassionate.
Fantastic. And my last question to you, I come back to the pandemic. My question is, how are you rethinking your life in the new world order?
Ash, that is a great question. I love the question. The pandemic has enabled us to completely change the way we do business. We've grown our business this year over 70%.
Wow.
And which is amazing. We've added 199 new clients year to date on our goal of 167 for the entire year. What we've learned how to do is do everything remotely, as opposed to even we would be on, like I ran an annual planning session yesterday for Verizon, and the big cell phone company in the US, and I ran it from my home. And it's amazing how so much business can be done remotely. So my desire to do business travel has meaningfully gone down. What I've learned from my clients is they've also figured out how to excel, how to sell to people all over the world, and not be present, not face to face. They could do it all via Zoom. Even they could have a Zoom meal together. They could have a Zoom glass of wine together. And people have figured out, people are resilient. They just figured out a new way to win. So in conclusion, I would say that travel for me in the future is going to be for fun. And for business, it'll be much more rare for me to hop on a plane, because you're in India, I'm in Miami, and this is terrific. We can catch up just like this anytime.
Absolutely. Mark, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I wish you, CEO Coaching International, and all my friends who are coaches with you, lots and lots of success.
Thank you, Ash, and I wish you the same. I love what you're doing for so many around the world. You're doing a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a
platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.